Real Screeners have made a stop at the South Lamar Alamo Drafthouse location in Austin, Texas. And here we are today with our first satisfied customer, Michael, who just got out of Black Widow.
Indeed.
Hopefully satisfied.
Very satisfied.
Okay, so tell us your initial reaction to Black Widow.
Well, I just love Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
And the special effects were fantastic.
Okay.
Everybody's acting was really good. Extremely fast-paced. Never got bored.
Okay.
But Scarlett blew me away. She was amazing.
She's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Did she add any new depth in this particular film that you didn't see in previous MCU films?
Definitely. Sure. Her character was more complex in this one.
Okay.
She had a lot more texture to her character.
Okay.
Yeah, and the relationship between her and her little sister was really awesome.
With Florence Pugh.
Yes.
What did you think
yes.
of Florence Pugh, her sister's character?
Incredible. Both of them. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the parents or the figures, right?
Right,
David Harbour
right,
and
right.
Rachel Weisz. What did you think of them?
Those four were the central of the movie, and the parents were fantastic. Yeah, it was just excellent. I didn't want it to stop.
Did you feel that the movie, when it actually stopped, when the action stopped, to focus more on the family kind of themes? Did you like that aspect?
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, it was done very well.
Okay.
Yeah, it was seamless.
It didn't interrupt the flow for you?
No, not at all.
Okay,
no,
awesome.
Really good.
So this film is directed by Kate Shortland, right? So a female director.
Right.
Do you think it's cool that more female directors are coming in to direct MCU movies?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's cool that more females are doing everything.
Compared to other MCU films, how does this one rank for you?
I think this is the best one I've seen.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Out of all of them?
All
Even
of them.
Avengers Endgame and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
On our movie channel, the Real Screeners, we rate our movies using movie reels, right?
Okay.
5 reels being the highest rating, 1 reel being the lowest rating. So out of 5 movie reels, how many reels would you give Black Widow?
I give this one 5.
5 movie reels. Okay,
yeah.
An absolute satisfied customer. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So next up, guys, here at the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, we have Ethy. Ethy, you seem super happy. I take it you loved the movie?
Yes, I did. I loved it. It was very, very good. A lot of action. It was very emotional. I kind of teared up in a lot, like a couple of scenes. And then something that I was not expecting at all, it was pretty funny in a lot of the parts. I was like, I wasn't expecting that at all. I really loved it. Like I said, I loved all of the action. She goes out there and literally does her thing. I also liked the, what's the girl's name? Is it Florence?
Florence Pugh?
Pugh, yeah. She was amazing. I loved her as well, yeah.
Right, she was super funny, right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's the first time I ever saw her in a movie.
Exactly,
and I was like, wow, this girl has a lot of range, right?
Yeah. She was hilarious.
So
I loved her.
She's supposed to be taking over the baton of the reins. I
believe so, yeah. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah?
I cannot wait to see her team up with other Avengers and see where it goes.
I know, right? Yeah, you and I both. Now with this movie, obviously this is Scarlett Johansson's send-off. Black Widow, obviously she met her in her heroic end. Do you feel like this was a fitting send-off, or were you wanting a little bit more from that?
Oh no, I loved it. I think it was perfect. Honestly, don't miss out on the after-credits scene.
Yeah,
it was
true, right? Because there's something that makes, well, I won't say anything.
Yeah,
no
just check it out. Make sure you check it out.
All right, well, Ethy, on our channel, The Real Screeners, we rate movies on a scale of 1 to 5 movie reels. Okay, 5 obviously being the highest.
Yeah.
And think about your rating for this movie. You could even do half reels if you want.
Yeah, perfect.
So how many reels does Black Widow get for you?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
Yeah.
Why not a 5? I'm just curious.
Because as much as I loved the action, some parts I was like, I also felt that in some parts of it was like, oh, what a coincidence, and that, come on, like.
And she's kind of indestructible, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, Ethy, thank you so much for being on our show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll see you guys again at the Alamo Drafthouse in El Paso. All right, take care.
For sure, likewise.
And here I have Jimmy and Kristen, who just got out of Black Widow. And so, Jimmy, we'll start with you. Initial reaction to Black Widow.
I thought it was pretty good. I think as far as Marvel movies go, I think it could be better, but it's a Marvel movie, so it's good.
Okay,
it's really good.
If you had to identify maybe a weakness in the movie, what didn't you like about it?
I think the storyline was just disconnected. Like, I think there was some loopholes and flaws in the movie as far as like telling the story, but other than that, the comedy, all that was still pretty good.
It hit home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Marvel movie, so
awesome.
it was good. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Kristen?
Yeah, as far as Marvel's concerned, I think it's doing a really good job connecting the dots across the whole storyline in the world.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch a couple of the older flicks just to see the
To make
tie-ins.
connections.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. What do you guys think of Scarlett Johansson in this movie? Because, of course, she's been playing this character since Iron Man 2, right? And what about Florence Pugh playing her, younger sister?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the parents, right? David Harbour and Rachel Weisz. So comment on them.
Yeah, so I thought Scarlett Johansson did a good job of bringing out like her sort of her personality or emotions. That's something that obviously she hadn't really done too much, and so I thought she did a pretty good job of that. They kind of give some backstory behind that. The family as a whole, I thought, was probably the coolest part. Like that was, for me, it was like they had great characters across the board, right? The sister, the mom, the dad, they all were
And that dynamic worked for you?
That was really good. Felt like the fact that they're not really a family, but like they're kind of pretending to be it, right? And each one of them has their own sort of superpower, let's say. I thought that was cool.
They're all allowed to shine, right?
Yeah,
so to speak.
And they all do shine in their own way, which I thought was cool. And I don't know, I liked it a lot.
So, Kristen, let me get your take on the fact that the movie is directed by Kate Shortland, and that there are some clear female empowerment themes in this movie. What do you think about that? How did the movie handle that?
I didn't feel overwhelmed by it, which is something I really liked, actually. I feel like a lot of times movies like this try to throw it in your face, and just having it kind of be, in the background and play a subtle theme in it, it felt really good.
It felt good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. How does it feel to be back in the theater after being trapped by COVID?
It's great. I have missed the theater so much. I loved coming with my friends and just being a part of the community and getting to share it on a big screen. I think that's something that I really missed, and being back in that situation is great.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about, I'll ask you, Jimmy, talk about how, well, why go to the theater if we can do streaming at home? Do you think that streaming will take over, or do you think that movie theaters still have a place and should still thrive?
I might be unique in my opinion on this, but I think movie theaters should still thrive, and I think that experience, and we were just talking about this, about that the movie theater experience is something very unique to me, and maybe it's because I have great memories of it, but I was really excited to come back to the movie theaters, get back out and seeing these things, especially when it comes to like Marvel movies. Like this is memories I'm going to have forever, right? It's going to the, opening nights of Marvel movies and things like that.
And to see the spectacle on the big screen in the dark and popcorn, I mean. All right, so on our YouTube channel, we rate our movies using movie reels, which is why we're the Reel Screeners. Okay. So 5 movie reels is the highest rating, 1 movie reel is the lowest. So out of 5, how many would you give Black Widow?
As a general movie or as a Marvel movie? That's those are two different ways.
If you want to give 2 ratings, you can. Yeah, totally. And you can give half ratings too, like 4.5, 3.5, whatever. Okay.
As a movie as a whole, 4, 3.5. 3.5. What do you think? 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay.
And I know this sounds really bad. I like the movie a lot, but as far as Marvel movies go, I'm going to give it like a 1.5.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Please speak to that.
Yes. I just thought the storyline really struggled a lot, and that there were some points, like especially with the final climactic scene, they're really trying really hard to like make it really exciting, and I thought there was a lot of like parts where it was like, okay, I don't know if I
forced, maybe, and over dramatized.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah, that's at least my opinion of that.
That's a valid opinion. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion about Black Widow today on the Reel Screeners. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, so next up we have Eric and Elizabeth. Guys, tonight most people have liked the movie, but there were 1 or 2 people who were like, well, not as good as some others. So, Eric, give me your raw reaction to Black Widow.
I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I don't think it's like one of the best MCU movies, but definitely better than Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I would say that for women protagonist movie for MCU.
A lot of people are talking about the action and how over the top it was, and kind of in a sense how Scarlett Johansson, she doesn't break bones. She's indestructible. So, what did you think of the action in this?
Action was pretty good. Like, it's your typical like Marvel action, but nothing like stood out like action wise.
Okay.
But Scarlett Johansson did break a nose at one point.
Oh, that's true. Okay, well, Elizabeth, what's your take on this movie?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
What specifically did you like about this movie?
I thought the storyline was really riveting, and I was sucked in from the beginning because I had no idea what was going on with that family and, you know.
A lot of espionage.
Yeah, there's a lot of espionage that was really compelling to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so this movie does a really good job of taking a breather amidst all that reaction to kind of do some character development with the family. You know, did you feel like that was a good touch to the movie, or did you feel like it kind of threw off the tone at all?
No, I loved it. That was my favorite part.
Well, Eric, let's go back to you here. On our channel, The Real Screeners, we rate movies on a scale of 1 to 5 movie reels. You can even do has if you want.
All right.
So how many reels would you give Black Widow?
For an MCU movie, I'd say 4.
Okay.
And as for like a regular movie, it'd be like 3.5.
3.5. Okay. All right. And Elizabeth?
I'd give it a 4.
A solid 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before I let you guys go, you know, part of the reason why we're down here is because we really want to reinvigorate people's passions to watch movies in the cinema. I mean, there's nothing wrong with streaming. You know, if you like streaming, that's cool. But the theater is an immersive experience. How do you guys feel about coming back to the theaters after COVID?
I'm really excited. I'm actually coming back here tomorrow to see Zola with some of my girlfriends. So, yeah, I'm excited to be back in the theaters.
Now, obviously, we're at the Alamo Drafthouse, one of the best places to watch movies. What do you like about this theater?
There's a good vibe to it. There's a good menu beyond just popcorn. You can order wine in your seat.
I just like the aesthetics around here, too, like how everything looks like. Posters back here.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of classic posters, right?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Just like the themes. I haven't been to like the quote-alongs or anything like that yet, but it seems like a great place to be.
Okay, all right. So some satisfied customers here again at the Alamo Drafthouse, guys. Thank you guys so much for being on our channel, and hopefully we'll see you guys again, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a nice evening.
We're back at the Alamo Drafthouse, and we have Daniel, who just got out of Black Widow. And so your initial reaction, what do you think?
It was really, really good.
Okay, so what would you say is like a particular strength that the movie has, or maybe a weakness?
Definitely just the fact that Black Widow got her own movie.
Okay.
That was a really good filler between like the major Avenger films.
Okay. Do you feel like this movie is actually an integral part of the MCU? Does it add any value to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
Okay.
it definitely. I mean, throughout the movie, between learning about Natasha Romanoff's background and her quote-unquote family, just really helped fill in just a lot of plots that weren't. Yep.
Okay,
Exactly.
awesome. Okay. So the movie does stop, the action stops, right? To kind of give you some character, you know, in-depth character studies, as particularly when it comes to her and her family, right?
Yeah.
Like her parents, her sister. What did you think of that dynamic and Florence Pugh as her little sister, you know?
That was really good to see. I definitely enjoyed the more information we got, like really got into detail when it comes into her background of her family, and being able to see where she came from, where all of the widows came from in the movie.
Right.
It was really eye-opening to see where exactly all that kind of sprouted from, which is a really kind of a scary place too.
Clearly there are some, you know, female empowerment themes in there.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
I mean, that was very prominent throughout the whole thing, and when starting the movie and realizing all of the widows and where Natasha came from, that it was all that female idol, really was awesome to see. It was something
and
that
well executed, right?
Definitely, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad that it happened. Yeah,
awesome.
It was really,
Okay.
really cool.
All right, so where would you rank Black Widow compared to the other MCU films, right? Because when you go online, people are like, well, let's rank the MCU films, right?
Right.
So,
man.
give or take, would you put it in the top 10?
I'd say top 5.
You'd
for
say
sure.
top 5?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so you really liked it.
I
okay.
really did. It was a nice, like we said, it was a good filler for a lot of different plots throughout the 3 phases that have come out so far.
Right, out of 5 movie reels, how many would you give Black Widow?
You know, I'd give this 5.
5 movie reels.
give
Man,
it
people
5.
are loving Black Widow. All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have Steven, who just got out of Black Widow. And so, Steven, give us your initial reaction to Black Widow.
It was really good. I fully went into this with high expectations just because Black Widow is one of my favorite characters. So I wanted to see the elaboration of her storyline.
Of course, Scarlett Johansson, right? What do you think of her playing the role?
She definitely got to show more of an emotional range because this was very much her backstory.
Yep.
So you did kind of get to see where she came from, even though like in the comics people already knew that. But you know, she just got to show more of like her emotional range. Also, I mean, she also has one of the, I think, the coolest fighting styles.
Okay, and of course they make fun of that in this movie, right? Some of her
her little
poses,
jokes,
right?
yeah. Her pose, she's such a poser, yeah.
What did you think of the chemistry between the characters in the movie?
I thought it was really well thought out, and they all interacted very well, especially Florence and Scarlett. Like you could feel like they were actually sisters.
How many reels would you give Black Widow?
I would give it a 4.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. So justify it by saying one weakness and one strength.
So I honestly feel like some scenes were really rushed.
Okay.
Like there wasn't a lot of setup. And I don't know if it's just because it's an MCU movie, so we're already kind of supposed to kind of already have our hands in everything. Yeah, so I didn't know if that was the main reason. And then like honestly the chemistry, they all worked really well together, and I really liked that.
That was a strength. Yeah, the characters and the acting. Yeah,
it was like they could like, you know, they could emote off each other, but they could also just like comedic back and forth with it, which is also really good in a MCU because you don't want just like serious the whole time.
Of course, yeah. Well, you heard it from Steven today, guys. 4 out of 5 movie reels. So thank you very much for being on the Reel Screeners.
Today we're at the Galaxy Theaters in Austin, and our first reaction is going to come from Kendra and Andy. So you guys got out of Black Widow. You said you were a Marvel fan. You said true Marvel fans will stay for the after credits scene. So what did you think of this? Did it meet your standard?
Marvel movies, I do feel like are good movies, but they're not going to be like the greatest movie you ever see. You will always have a good experience with a Marvel movie. But I don't feel like you should go to see a Marvel movie to have like see the greatest movie of all time.
Right. It's not going to like move you to tears unless it's maybe Endgame. But like you said, it's entertaining.
Yeah,
right?
It's an entertaining movie.
Okay.
I will say that. Like it does its job well. It did its job. It did what I was expecting. I was expecting a good Marvel movie, and I got myself a good Marvel movie.
All right. How about yourself, Kendra?
I wasn't disappointed. I mean, well, no offense to Black Widow, but like, what's a lot you can do with her versus having Thor and all that stuff, Iron Man. So I was really impressed with what they did and bringing in her family. I love that. I love the family concept of it.
Okay. Yeah, you know, obviously this movie had a ton of action, you know, but they gave you, like you said, they had a family moment. They gave you a breather in the middle. Florence Pugh is going to be taking the reins over for, you know, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. How do you think she'll do in the future?
I do feel like she is a good actress. She did her job well, but I do not feel like she would be able to truly replace Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow. She's imprinted her own, like, Black Widow. It's like you see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
That's so true. Yeah.
It's because she is the Black Widow.
I wouldn't say she's the Black Widow. I just feel like she's someone Black Widow would trust in her place.
Gotcha.
But she's not the Black Widow to me. Like I want to probably find like a new nickname for her, like how she was wearing black and the other one was wearing white.
Yeah, the White Widow.
The White Widow. Something.
I gotcha. Okay, all right. Well, guys, on our channel, we rate movies on a scale of 1 to 5 movie reels. I mean, of course, we're the Reel Screeners, right? So I want to ask for your ratings here, and you can even go to halves, like 3.5, 2.5, whatever. So we'll start off with you, Kendra, obviously. How many reels would you give Black Widow?
3.5.
Okay, all right. Solid rating. Okay. Go ahead.
I'd have to give it a 3.5.
3.5?
At best, because like it's still a good movie, still entertained. It did its job. I will say that. But because it's a prequel, in the grander scale, I don't feel like you need to see this movie.
Gotcha. Okay, because at the end, you kind of know the end game and her story arc, right?
Yeah, it's
no pun intended.
It's a prequel,
okay.
So.
All right, gotcha. Now, before we go, guys, you know, we always end our videos by asking about the real ratings, but, you know, we're in a time where, you know, COVID kind of racked a lot of theaters, and now we're starting to see a reopening. People are going back. How do you guys feel about going back to the theaters? Is it just like any other evening, or was this something you guys were truly excited for?
Oh, I loved it because I'm always in the house. I mean, my sister was making fun of me for like we were gonna buy the movie and watch it on our TV, but like there's a difference between watching it at home on your TV and watching it on like the huge big screen with all the noise and the recliner chairs, because not everybody got the recliner chairs. I mean, I have them at home, but like it's just a different experience.
Right. Now, Andy, I want to ask you, is this your first time at the Galaxy Austin Theater?
Oh no, definitely not. We've been here before too. We saw like I think it was Raya and the Last Dragon here.
Yeah.
All right. Is there something specific about this theater that you like, that you think is unique fare?
It's something my family comes by every time, so it's good. They took us here like I think I moved here like a few years ago.
Okay.
The first movie I watched here was Far From Home, actually.
Okay.
It was the first, it's called movie I got to see with like the entire family over here. So I like coming here because of that.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show with the Real Screeners, giving your feedback to Black Widow, and obviously talking about how great it is to come back to the theaters. So, well, hopefully we will see you guys around, or we'll hear from you guys on our channel, okay?
We're back at the Austin Galaxy Theater, and we have Teddy, who just got out of Black Widow.
Yes,
and
sir.
Teddy, what did you think?
I loved it, man. I really loved it. I liked how they showed what happened before Endgame, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So it was a good way to see what she went through like before all that happened.
Good background story for her. Now we have some new characters added on. We have her younger sister played by Florence Pugh, and we have her parents. What did you think of the acting overall? Did anybody stand out to you? How did you like that dynamic in the movie?
The little sister for sure stood out. I feel like she might be a good addition to the Avengers or the Young Avengers once they do that. I could definitely see the chemistry between them, between those four people. The acting was pretty good. The mom, I forgot her name. She's a legend though.
Yeah,
I love everything she's in.
I remember the actress's name is Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of the character right now.
Yeah. She's the mummy. Like she's been in a lot of movies. Constantine, that's what I remember.
Yeah,
her
the
from.
Mummy. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot that she was in the Mummy.
Yeah, I grew up on that, so I love her as an actor. So she's pretty good. But all in all, the storyline it was perfect because Black Widow's never had her own movie, so it's almost like she was a supporting actor on every movie.
So obviously the movie deals a lot with like women empowerment themes, right?
Yeah, I noticed that.
What did you think about that? Did the movie handle that well?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely demonstrated women empowerment very well. It showed that
it's a hot topic
women can
nowadays.
women can make their own choice in their own life and be their own boss and things like that.
Right.
So I feel like this film can definitely empower a lot of women across the world.
Awesome. Have you been coming to the Austin Galaxy theaters for a while now?
I'm from Austin. I'm born and raised, so I've been coming here since I was little.
Yeah,
so
this theater.
Yeah, this theater. I've seen all types of changes with this theater. So.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you like about this theater?
I just love how they upgraded the whole seats and everything. Like back then, it was like old grungy seats and stuff like that.
And now they
it's definitely it's definitely updated. Like they updated everything, and I just love it because people don't really like coming here no more. They think it's old and stuff.
Right.
So I like coming here because it's always quiet and chill.
So you heard it, guys. This movie theater is recently renovated, so come and check it out. So we were trapped because of COVID for like a year, right? So how does it feel to be back in the theater?
Man, it feels good, man. That's the one thing I really miss the most. Like, I feel like I have so many subscriptions on my card because I just miss going to the movies so much.
And me too.
I have HBO Max, all of it, man. And I'm just like, man, I need to go back to the theater.
Yes.
It gets expensive.
Thank God. It does, but it's so worth it, right? I mean,
it's worth it. Yeah, it's very much worth it. I love it, but I'm glad that we're back out.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. And
thank you.
The last question that I have for you is on our movie review channel, The Real Screeners, we rate our movies using movie reels.
Oh, okay.
So 5 reels is the highest rating we can give a film, and then 1 reel is the lowest. So out of 5 movie reels, how many reels would you give Black Widow?
I'll give Black Widow a solid 4.5 reels.
Okay, 4.5 reels. So satisfied customer
I'm
for
very
Black
satisfied.
Widow?
Yeah, it was worth the money.
Thank you so much for sharing your reaction, Teddy. We appreciate you coming on. Okay.
Thank you.
Next up at the Galaxy Austin, we have Haven. Haven, you have told me that you are a Marvel and MCU expert, an MCU fan, veteran, whatever you want to call it. How does this movie, Black Widow, compare to the pantheon of MCU movies?
Well, this one was pretty fun. Had a completely different character. She's never had one, but she's always fighting.
Yeah.
Explained a lot where her fighting, and I never knew she had a family either.
Uh-huh. That's a nice backstory, right?
Yeah, it was like a good mix of backstory and not backstory. Present day.
What did you think of the action? A lot of people are talking about how the action was just crazy and over the top. I mean, did you like it, or did you feel like it was a little too much even for an MCU movie?
There can never be enough action.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially with superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Even if she doesn't have superpowers, she's still super in her own right, right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of Florence Pugh as Elena? From what we understand, she's going to be the next Black Widow. Do you think she's ready to fill those shoes?
Yeah, I think she'd do great. She was pretty cool in the movie, personally. It was a little weird. Like they look so similar too in the movie.
Right.
It was weird. It's hard to sometimes to track.
What did you think about her humor? That's obviously different than Scarlett Johansson's character, huh?
Yeah, she's got a how do I put this? A opposite but not opposite.
Right.
Humor.
Gotcha. She's kind of like
more serious. Almost.
Right. She's kind of like a foil to Natasha Romanoff in a sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Haven, on our channel, The Real Screeners, we rate movies on a scale of 1 to 5 movie reels because we're the real screeners. And I want to get your rating here on a scale of 1 to 5. You could even use halves. How many reels would you give Black Widow?
Say a solid 3.
A solid 3?
Wait,
okay,
no,
it's kind of like
4.
A 4? Oh, what bumped it up for you?
They all kind of went together. There was no what kind of happened there, like some movies have.
Okay.
It all had a good flow.
All right. Well, people really seem to be enjoying this Black Widow movie, and people in general are excited, I hear, and myself included, to come back to the theaters. I mean, how do you feel about coming back to the theaters after COVID pretty much ransacked this industry?
This theater in particular is doing pretty good at keeping everyone apart. They've now gone to assigned seating. I came here before COVID, and kind of just go sit anywhere you want. So, and everyone here is nice too. So, honestly, I kind of like it. It's been fun.
Are you a guy that likes to stream movies, or would you prefer to come to the theater?
Probably like to come to the theater.
Why is that exactly? What makes that difference for you?
Bigger TV.
Bigger TV, right? Bigger TV, bigger sound, bigger everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, you heard it. If you're going to watch a good movie, especially an MCU movie, go to the theater. Well, Haven, we appreciate having you on the show with us. We'll see you around. Take care of yourself, all right?
Thank you.